welcome back. So I thought I would finish showing you what books I've hauled over the past few weeks. There's quite a few, there's like 30 of them, so I'm going to go quickly. But I just wanted to start organizing my books. I've been collecting books for years, though I don't keep, the majority of them I don't keep once I'm done reading them. If it's a nonfiction or there's one that I would like to read again, then I will keep it. But most of the time when I'm finished a book, it goes back to Goodwill or another thrift store. So anyway, I really wanted to get things organized. So I cleared off some of my crafts and that. So I'm going to put some of my books here. I have books in a big box in the spare bedroom. I got some in my closet here. They're just all over the place. So I want to organize them by author. Yeah, and just try to sort of have them all in one spot instead of like strewn all over the place, because I end up forgetting about what I have and that sort of thing. So anywho, so yeah, I've started to clear off this shelf in here, and then I have a bunch of shelves, but they're all crammed with craft stuff. So at some point I have to go over this stuff and just kind of donate what I don't use anymore, and so yeah. So I will get started on some of these books that I have hauled. Again, they're from Indigo, Amazon, a lot from thrift stores, the book outlet. So I did get another Lucy Foley book, The Guest List, and a lot of these are isolation thrillers. And this one I did haul from the thrift store for like $2 or $3. And this takes place in the Scottish wilderness New Year's reunion. And one of these friends is a murderer and one won't make it out alive. And then I picked up this one, The Guest List. So this one takes place on a remote Irish island, and there's an exclusive wedding on this island. And all have a secret, all have a motive, but only one is a murderer. So those ones sound really, really good. I did get a couple of Jane Harper novels. I don't think I read any of her books. If I did, it was a long time ago. But one of my subscribers did suggest The Lost Man. So these brothers in the Australian heartland find their one brother dead, and they're trying to find out what happened to him and who had murdered him. And then this one is The Dry by Jane Harper. So this federal agent goes back to his hometown. He hasn't been there since he and his father were run out of town, and he finds out that his childhood best friend Luke has been murdered, and so he goes and investigates it and finds out a lot more has been happening than he realizes. Oh, that's another Lisa Jewell. Yeah, I did get a couple of Lisa Jewell books. I do have The Family Upstairs, which I need to read still. This is The Invisible Girl. A child psychologist is looking after this girl for about 3 years, and then she says, you know, that's it, no more, and then the girl ends up disappearing. So there's a lot of mysterious things going on there. And this is The Truth About Melody Brown. And so this woman can't remember anything before her 9th birthday. Now she's in her early 30s, living in the middle of London with her 17-year-old son, and she hasn't seen her parents since she left at the age of 15. So slowly she's starting to get memories back about what had happened. And now this one, it says it's now a major motion picture. I don't really pay too much attention to movies that are coming out. I do a lot of reading, and I just watch like history shows and that on TV or Netflix or what have you. But this is by Sarah Waters, and this is called The Little Stranger. And this one sounds quite good. It takes place post Second World War. This doctor is called to this estate that's been in this family for centuries, and it's starting to decline in that, and the people who are living there are struggling to keep pace in that. So something spooky happens anyhow. So yeah, I just reading the summary, just the atmosphere, and that sounds really quite creepy and intriguing. Did get another Agatha Christie, and this is And Then There Were None, previously published as 10 Little Indians. And again, this is one of those isolation thrillers. 10 strangers are lured to an isolated island mansion off the Devon coast. This one I've heard a lot about by Alex Michaelides, The Silent Patient. And yeah, I've heard a lot about this one. So this woman ends up shooting her husband, and after that she never speaks a word, so she ends up in a, I believe, a psychiatric unit, and this criminal psychotherapist is quite intrigued and is determined to find out what actually did happen after all these years. And this is by Jess Kidd, Things in Jars. And I did order another book of hers, and I just can't remember offhand. Oh, Himself. That has gotten really good reviews, so I have ordered that one. And this takes place in 1863 in London. Bridie is a female detective, and she is taking on her toughest case yet. A child is kidnapped, and she is trying to find this child. So she enters a world of anatomists, surgeons, mercenary showmen, and all that stuff. So that sounds really, really interesting. And this is The Cabinets of Barnaby, Maine. And this takes place in London in 1703. So a lot of science is really coming to the forefront, and a lot of people are collecting peculiar scientific things, and they're keeping them in these cabinet of curiosities. And this particular fellow, Sir Barnaby, collects a lot of this stuff, and people come from far and wide to look at his collection. And then this woman comes, and she's very passionate about plants, and she finds that the host has been murdered, and she has to look into it. So again, anything historical, and I can learn from it. I just love that kind of stuff. Did get another book, How to Find Love in a Bookshop. And this is by Veronica Henry. And this owner is struggling to keep her shop open, which seems to be a theme for a lot of these bookstore stories, and she's very tempted to sell in that, and her customers and the other people who work with her are trying to convince her to keep it open. And these ones I did get. These were 3 for $20 at Indigo, and this is called the Orphan Song. This takes place in Vienna in the 1700s, I believe. And there's 2 girls who meet together on the Hospital of the Incurables, and they form a connection, and the one runs away, the other stays there because she has a beautiful singing voice, and just what happens to them. And this is called The Fifth Petal by Brunonia Berry. And so this takes place in Salem, Massachusetts, and a teenage boy dies suspiciously on Halloween night, and it is connected to these previous murders that happened like 20-some years ago. So this, the chief of police and some other women are helping him investigate, and these women have certain powers and that sort of thing, visions, that sort of thing. And this is Her Mother's Daughter by Daniella Petrova. And there's 2 women, Lana and Katya. And Lana is sort of stalking her anonymous egg donor, and she just wants to find out about her life and how she is. And then the egg donor mysteriously disappears, and Lana wants to find out what happens, but there's a lot of secrets that are unearthed, and there's a lot more to the story. And what else here? This is The Mermaid and Mrs. Hancock by Imogene Hermes Gower. So this has kind of gotten mixed reviews, but it sounded kind of interesting. So in 1785 on the docks of London, someone says they have found a mermaid, and I think they go around, yeah, I guess people come from far and wide to see this so-called mermaid, and yeah, he ends up meeting a lot of different people while he's traveling with this mermaid, and I'm not going to read the whole summary, but I don't know, the summary just sounded really quite interesting. And I've heard very good reviews about this. Amanda Dykes, Whose Waves These Are. So this is on, I see a lot of reviews on Goodreads, and this has gotten like 4.5 out of 5 stars, which is quite high. So after World War II, a grieving fisherman submits a poem to a local newspaper, and its message is, "Send me a rock for the person you've lost, and I'll build something life-giving." And decades later, this woman goes back and finds a mystery, a wall of heavy boxes hiding in his home and that. And yeah, it's gotten very, very good reviews. Alrighty, this is The Whisper Man by Alex North. And after the sudden death of his wife, this man wants to make a fresh start with his son. And he goes to this new town, but the town has a dark past. There was a serial killer there previously, 20 years ago, who killed like 5 residents. And then a boy vanishes, and they think there's maybe a connection there. Alrighty, what else do we got here? This is Last Rituals, and this is an Icelandic writer, and I'm not even going to pronounce her last name. It's Ursa something. I'm not even going to try because I will butcher it. So at the university in Reykjavik, the body of a young German student is discovered. He's got strange symbols carved in his chest and that. And they're just, once they start investigating, a lot of very interesting things are uncovered, not just simply this murder. And this is A Year of Wonders by Geraldine Brooks. And so this takes place in 1666. This is the second time kind of the Black Plague's made its rounds. And an infected bolt of cloth carries plague from London to an isolated mountain village. And this woman is a healer, and at some point they start all the witch hunting and that, and they start rounding up all these healers during the plague and that. So yeah, yeah, I don't know why I'm fascinated by anything that's books that have taken place during the plagues for some reason. And this is Tuscan Daughter, and this is by Lisa Rochon, and this takes place in Florence during 1500s. So this Beatrice, she's a peasant girl, and her father is killed, her mother disappears, and she has to survive. So she goes into the city to sell her family's olive oil. And then she meets a lot of interesting people, a lot of interesting adventures happen to her. So again, I just love those historical fictions where you can actually feel like you're right there and learning about just everyday life for people. And what else here? This is Olivia Twist by Laurie Langdon. And this is a twist on Oliver Twist. In this case, it is a young girl who's born in a workhouse, and she's raised as a boy among thieving London street gangs, and she's quite tough and cunning. And then her uncle takes her in, and then next thing you know, she's attending lavish dinners and soirees in high society, but she can't quite get rid of her past and that, and she's trying to help out people that she's previously worked with and that. So, and this is, whoopsie, this is The Silent Companion. This is by Laura Purcell. So this woman, she's newly widowed, and she is sent to her late husband's crumbling country estate until she gives birth. And yeah, the locals are very resentful of her. The servants don't like her. And then she finds a wooden figure, a silent companion, that bears a striking resemblance to her. So yeah, I'm assuming there's little maybe paranormal or supernatural things occurring there. So anywho, that's it. So yeah, I'm going to just organize this place. Since I'm retiring in a month, I'm going to have a lot of time. I'm just going to, in the winter time, just go through all my craft stuff and donate what I don't need, and then use some of this shelving for my books and that. But in the meantime, I just want to organize things a little better. So anywho, I hope you enjoyed. I hope I gave you some good ideas for some books here. And take care, be kind, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.